Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's ErockRodz, and this is the Ariel Rider X-Class 60 volt off-road edition. Let's take a look. This bike has a 750 watt motor. It is a Class 2 e-bike, but it can be unlocked to go at a higher top speed. We'll take a look at the top speed on one of the speed runs. This is a 60 volt system running a 20 amp hour battery. The bike has dual suspension, front and rear, running 20 by 4.5 inch fat tire in the front and a 20 by 5 inch fat tire in the rear. Just to go over the cockpit has a half twist throttle. It has a nice bright display. The power control on the left side has the power button, plus button, and the minus button to control the pedal assist levels. On pedal assist 0, there's no throttle power, but once you're on pedal assist 1 through 5, then you'll have throttle. There are 5 pedal assist levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you could also toggle through your trip, your top speed, average speed, and odometer. And then a nice thing is that it also shows the turn indicators, right turn signal, and then same for the left turn signal on the left side. It'd just be nice if there was an audible sound to it. Some safety features such as turn signals in the front, and brake light has integrated turn signals as well. A switch for the horn. It's got an integrated light switch. The bike runs with a daylight running light, and then there's a high beam and low beam. It's a little heavier bike at about 108 pounds and can carry up to 330 pounds. It can accommodate 2 passengers. It didn't come with these passenger pegs, but you're able to attach any universal passenger pegs you could get. Ariel Rider also sells passenger pegs on their site. It is 2-up friendly as I ride with my son on this seat. The seat's a little small, but they do sell an extended long seat. The integrated battery in the frame is 20 amp hours, but Ariel Rider also sells an extra 15 amp hour battery that you could mount on the top of the frame here, or they also make it so you can mount it on top of the battery here. They have a lot of customization options that you could buy on their site right now, where you could have some MOLLE panels, the extended seat like I said, you could get an extended rack, and a lot of carrying storage. So there's a lot of options there. Alright guys, so we are outside doing the performance tests of the Ariel Rider X-Class 60 volt off-road edition. We're basically just going to be riding the bike, real world riding, to see how it performs. If you watched my last video, I pretty much showed the top speed. I was getting around 35, maybe close to 36, and I did pedal assist tests. So we're going to do more real world riding on this one. So before we get into it, I just wanted to say that even though this is going to be my own opinions, I do have a little bias towards Ariel Rider. I have some sentimental value towards it because the Ariel Rider X-Class 48 volt was the first moped style bike that I ever got, and I rode the heck out of that bike. I don't even know how many miles I had on it, but you could see I made tons of videos on it. Tons of videos on my YouTube channel. I really did enjoy that bike, and you know, I just have some sentimental value with AR. I'll be as unbiased as I can, but just making you aware of that. So before we get onto the road, I just wanted to do a little reminder that if you're just riding this bike stock and not changing anything, if you want to ride past 20 miles per hour, then you have to go into the app and then you have to increase the speed that way. So I know that a lot of people, at least from watching other videos, didn't like that feature, and it could be a pro or a con depending on how you look at it. If you're in an area that has tight e-bike laws, or you're in an area that the cops, will care about you riding more than 20 miles per hour, then it's a good feature to have. You could be riding on the unlock mode, and then if you do get pulled over, you pretty much just turn off the bike, turn it back on, and it is back to a Class 2. And for me, it's not that big of a deal. Pretty much whenever I start to ride, I just unlock it. It takes about 10 seconds, but there is an option out there if you do end up buying the bike that you could permanently take it off, and I'll put the link in the description. I believe Mr. Central Driver, he posted a video on it, so I could put a link to that. But It could be a good thing or bad thing depending on your area and your e-bike laws. Technically, where I am in New Jersey, e-bikes top speed should be 20 miles per hour. And then even from 20 to 28, it's considered like a motor-driven cycle. And it technically should be registered, insured, all that jazz. I personally haven't done that on my other bikes, but you know, it's up to you what you want to do. Like I mentioned, the bike is not friendly for short riders, and it's getting a little old that I'm like always tiptoeing on stops. So most likely I'm gonna end up just trying to change the rear shock to like a shorter travel shock and see if it'll make the seat height a little bit lower so it could be a little bit more comfortable when riding. All right, here we go. All right, so right here is where I like to open it up. It's a beautiful day outside in October. 80 degrees outside. And the bike does feel super comfy riding at these speeds. The bike feels very stable. It feels very planted to the road. And the suspension feels good. It feels really good on the streets. The tires feel super sticky. And you could really lean on the curves too, I've noticed. The bike ships as a class 2, but you could unlock it to go past 20 miles per hour and past 28 miles per hour, so it's technically in the class 4 or beyond. And it's just a very stable bike. That's my favorite thing about the bike is how well built it feels and how stable it is riding. So I wanted to mention that a lot of people think that Ariel Rider is kind of going backwards in how they're limiting the top speed, but I think they're actually forward thinking than most of the companies, just because of what's going on with the legality of e-bikes and stuff like that. They give it to the rider or the owner to basically ride it how they want, but they focus on safety and they focus on legality and following the rules. So if and when the government starts to get a little bit more tighter on the rules, AR is going to be ahead of the game and not necessarily behind. So that's just my thoughts on it. Yeah, so I mentioned before, this model, the off-road and the Cafe Racer, they have a different motor and pretty much a lot of different things compared to the performance model. Just looking at this model itself, if you pick up the bike as of this recording, it's actually under $2,000, under $2,000. And then if you use my code, you can get it down to, I believe, $1,899. For that price, this bike is it's a steal, in my opinion. This is probably one of the best bikes you could get for under $2,000. Some of the other cool features I like about this bike is that it can support 2 riders. The seat is a little bit short, but it fits me and my son pretty tight. But you do have the option for the long seat. That's another upgrade. And speaking of upgrading components, the bike is really capable of adding a lot of aftermarket accessories, especially the ones that Ariel Rider has, because they're going to be pretty compatible. Whoa. There's a lot of options with MOLLE panels, extended racks, long seats, extra batteries, pegs, a bunch of things, you know, so you could really customize it to make it your own. And Ariel Rider makes it really easy to upgrade. All right, so we're just gonna pedal for a little while just to talk about the bike a bit. Top speed gets around to 35, but it really cruises, at least for me, good around like 30, a little over 30, 32, 33. It does handle the hills well. On really steep hills, you could throw in the pedal assist and it still definitely gets up, no issues. In terms of range, I'm not gonna be able to do a full range test anytime soon, but just estimating for a 20 amp hour battery, I'm gonna say you could probably get comfortably maybe 25 to 35 miles depending on how you're riding. And then Ariel Rider does offer an extended battery, or an extra battery I should say, 15 amp hour that you could put on the top here, or you could put on the top of the lower part of your frame. So you have good mounting options to customize your bike, and that'll definitely add on, give you some extra range if you need it. One thing that I did want to mention about the battery though is that Ariel Rider did mention that they put in some extra like casing or extra resin. I'll have to double check what it is to protect the battery. So they really thought about the safety when building this bike. I believe Ariel Rider is focusing on rider safety. That's like their #1 priority. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be back here on this bike, but it's light trails, so we're just gonna go real slow. Even though I do like the bike and its components, there are definitely a couple things that I am not a fan of. Just a couple things, and they're nothing major, and I don't think a lot of people mention this on other reviews, is the charger. The stock charger is only 3 amps, which is, I believe, kind of below the norm these days. I would have hoped for a minimum of 5, if not more. 5 amps. 7 amps would be nice. 10 would be the best. Of course, I know people don't always want to be able to have to fast charge. They said it could ruin the battery, but if you're out on a ride, out going somewhere far, and you just have the single battery, and you have to charge, it's going to take forever to charge somewhere, especially if you're on a group ride or something like that. So I know a lot of the cheaper bikes, budget bikes, are only 2 amps. So this is only literally 1 amp more than the more affordable bikes. I wish they could have came with a faster charger. And I'll put up on the screen how long it'll take for charge from empty to full with a 3 amp charger. So yeah, that's just definitely something to consider. Oh, and one other thing about the charger is more about the charging port. Usually if you have a charger, you just want to take the port, stick it in the bike, and then know that it's charging. For this, you have to put it in a specific way or else it won't fit in to the charger. And it's all the way down here on the bottom of the frame. And you literally have to aim it in exactly the right way. I'll put it up on the screen what it looks like, or else it won't go in correctly. So basically, I have to get down on my hands and knees and aim it in right at the right angle, or else it's not going to go into the hole correctly. So that's more of a nitpicky thing, but if you want to just like plug and play, just start charging, that takes a little time to have to like put it in perfectly. And maybe it's just me, but it was kind of annoying when I wanted to charge the bike. Or the other thing that I see as an issue, I do see that they prioritize safety, but security is another thing I wish they would have focused on. Security in terms of there's no key ignition. You don't need a key to start the bike. I could pretty much just press the power button and turn on the power, and then I could ride away. Most of the bikes, or at least the more premium bikes, they'll come with a key ignition so that you need the key to turn on the bike and ride it. Technically, the Cafe Racer and the off-road are a little bit different, but on the premium model, it would have been nice to have a key ignition. I mean, I would have liked a key ignition on all of the models, but just for that little extra security, if you're going to park your bike out somewhere, they can't just turn it on and right away if you don't have a lock on you at the moment. So a key would have been nice, and then also built-in security alarm like they have on the Onyxes, my Onyx CTY2 or the Onyx RCR. They have a built-in alarm. That would have been nice to see on the 60 volt X-Class. Yeah, so there are definitely a few things that I am not a fan of, but definitely not deal breakers at all, especially at the price point for this bike. In terms of the suspension and the comfortability, is that a word? Comfortability of this bike. A lot of people are saying that the seat is super soft. It's pretty comfy, but for long rides, I do feel that it's like kind of aching my butt, and a lot of my other bikes don't do that. So maybe it's just me. The extra padding, maybe it just has to break in a little bit for me, and it'll feel a little bit better. Suspension is pretty good. I actually dialed it in a little bit more from my last video, and it seems to be a little bit more forgiving. I know it's not the performance model suspension, but it's not bad at all. Unfortunately, I do think that I'm going to have to switch out that rear suspension. If you're a shorter rider, buyer beware. Maybe I'll do an update after I change out the rear suspension to see how much the seat height is lowered. The Cafe Racer, unfortunately, is locked in at that height, so if you're going to look into getting this bike, then definitely go for the off-road edition or higher or performance, because you could always swap out that shock to try to make it a little bit lower. Right now it feels nice. It feels nice and stable on the loose gravel. It's not necessarily off-road tires, but I don't want to go on these rocks. Let's go on the grass. Ooh, that was a bump. What else? Oh, stopping power. It does have 4-piston hydraulic brakes and 203mm rotors, so the stopping power is definitely there. They definitely feel like they bite well. When it comes to value, cost to value ratio, I guess, this does offer a lot for the price, especially the price that it's selling at right now. If you do pick up this bike, you could get it for $18.99 using coupon code ErockRodz. If you want a faster bike, you could definitely go for the performance edition. There's definitely some other 60 volt or even 72 volt bikes out there that'll get you a higher top speed. But if you're just cruising, city cruising, if you're doing some light off-roading, this is definitely a good option. I'm not necessarily an off-road guy. I'm more of a pavement princess when it comes to my e-bikes. I'm more of a cruiser. So in that sense, as a commuter, as a cruising bike, this definitely exceeds for the price. Yeah, once I could get one of my buddies over, I'll try to do some speed comparison videos, like the torque comparison, so I could compare this to some of my other bikes. Once my battery gets a little bit lower, like not 100%, I feel like I can't get as much top speed. See, 35 miles per hour is this road, and I'm probably not going to be able to hit that right now with a lower battery. Slight downhill, so I was able to hit it. Close to 36. Yeah, the suspension does feel good going at speeds. Alright, so we're gonna do the hill test right here. We'll do one pedal assist and one throttle. And we'll just do it on max pedal assist. We'll throttle a little bit and we'll pedal the rest of the way. Okay, pedal assist kicked in. And I have no resistance right now, barely any. It's going up. 16. Yeah, it handles that hill like nothing. It feels very, very comfortable going up that hill. No struggling at all. Okay, throttle. 3, 2, 1, pin it. I feel like definitely pedaling helps. It's still getting up, but I feel like the pedal assist was a little bit stronger getting up this hill. $16, $17, $19, $20, $22. Nice brakes. Yeah, you could have a lot of fun on this bike. You could really lean in on the turns with these sticky wheels. Okay, so right here on this trail, this is where there's a really steep incline. So I'm just gonna throttle up it. I'll try to stop so we see how it feels. Right here. We're just gonna throttle. Oh yeah, hills are nothing with this bike. It doesn't like it's a 750 watt motor, but I guess because of the bigger voltage system, it doesn't feel like it's struggling. Pedal assist definitely feels a little bit better with the hills once you get going. All right, so we'll just pedaling up this hill. Oh yeah, the pedal assist just kicks it in, man. Handles the hill like nothing. Nothing. If you live in an area with a lot of steep hills, this is definitely a bike to look at. Any of the X-Class 60 volt models would do well on hills. All right, so just to sum things up, there's a lot of great things about this bike. A lot of interesting things that Ariel Rider did with this bike. If you're looking for a really fast 60 volt e-bike, you probably want to look at the performance model or some other e-bikes with a higher top speed. But if you're looking for a bike, gives you great value for its price, has very solid performance, stability, and great components, is a hill climbing machine, then the Ariel Rider X-Class Off-Road Edition is definitely a model to look at. As always, if you guys enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button, it really helps out the channel, and we'll catch you on the next ride. All right, guys, ride on.